40 years ago last week, this country marked the fact that Mrs Thatcher came to power. And I say again, the only similarity is that they're both women and they're both Conservatives. Because Mrs Thatcher was the sort of woman who would say, when a crisis arose, she would say, what are we going to do? Mrs May appears to be a woman, what are we going to say? I've met her, as you will know, on a number of occasions. She's an absolutely charming, very hard-working woman, but just not up to it. Plain and simple, just not up to it. And the fact that she will not agree, time after time after time, Sir Graham Brady, who chairs the 1922 committee, goes and says, look, we really do need to know a date when you're going to go. She refuses to give it. Who the hell does this blundering woman think she is? The country's going to hell in a handcart. We're spending £150 million on a series of elections that should never have taken place and nobody wants. There's a danger that as a result of these elections, some pretty ugly political sentiments on both sides, right and left, might be given some oxygen. Elections that should never, ever have been held. As recently as the end of March, she was saying she'd never let them happen, and she has. Did you see the documentary on BBC4 last night, where members of the EU side, quite literally, and I know people literally overuse the word literally, but literally their head in their hands with the way Mrs May was dealing with the situation. I watched that, and suddenly I still think that they played a pretty ugly game, but I had enormous sympathy for the EU side. This woman's incompetence has reached dizzying levels. Extraordinary. It was only a few months ago. She was dancing on bloody stage to ABBA. Has she got some kind of... Does she not realise the country is falling apart? We're spending tens of millions of pounds on elections that nobody wants, billions of pounds on a railway line that has any businessman or woman said they want to get to Sheffield at 10 minutes sooner, and it's worth spending 70, 80 billion pounds? And actually Crossrail can track back there as well, because central government involved in that. It's today they announced that they're going to remove cladding from houses. Grenfell was virtually 2 years ago. It's taken them 2 years to do that. I mean, you would not... A private company would last half an hour running like this. And now, a military bloke, Johnny Mercer, and they know nothing but orders, giving and taking orders, and discipline. He said he can't carry on working for anymore, save for Brexit, because of the calamitous, or he calls it, abhorrent and regrettable process of going after servicemen and women for what they did in Northern Ireland. It all tracks back to her.